We had a small activity for malting the barley, but we still did it until 1988. And we needed to stop because we had an incident in the canning plant with the fire.
Welcome to the Gourmet Brewing Podcast. I'm Doug Piper, speaker, cicerone, and food and beverage judge. This season, we're learning from leading brewers about their delicious beverages. And today we're talking to Olivier Didica, the fourth generation manager of Saison Dupont. Now, Olivier leads this iconic 180-year-old Brasserie Dupont in Tourpes Belgium. It's most known for its Saison, and it is considered one of the very best in the world. We have another video on Saison Dupont's yeast, and you can watch that here. Today you'll hear about the brewery's history, then malting, mashing, and boiling. And if you've learned anything new, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons. I'd appreciate also hearing in the comments below about your Saison experiences or maybe your visits to Saison Dupont. Your views, comments, and all your feedback help this channel out immensely. And stay to the very end to hear how Olivier describes how he maintains traditional brewing techniques, but with advanced equipment. So let's join our discussion as Olivier describes the origins of his 18th century brewery just before he moves into his mashing and brewing vessels.
It's in fact an old farm brewery. It was only a farm in 1759, and it became a farm brewery in 1844. So at this time, the quite big farms like this one had a lot of people to work on the fields in the summer, and in the winter they were busy to malt some barley. We had a small activity for malting the barley, but we still did it until 1988. And we needed to stop because we had an incident in the canning plant with the fire in the canning plant, so we decided to stop to do this. And so last century they were busy to malt the barley in the winter, and in the summer. In the winter also they were brewing a beer, and that beer, the second fermentation in wood barrels until the next summer. And that beer was drunk on the fields by the people working in the fields during the summer. So we speak about a refreshing beer with a low alcohol content, and quite not a strong bitterness, but a good bitterness in order to enhance the refreshing character of the beer. And that brewery, here, where we are here, it was not yet the Dupont brewery, it was Rimo de Ridder brewery. Two family names, Rimo and de Ridder.
And about what time was this?
1844.
1844,
yeah.
Okay.
And the specialty of this brewery was to brew a Saison, of course, but also a Bière de Miel, honey beer. We do this beer again now with a new recipe, of course, but so it's effectively our most expensive beer to do because it's an organic one. So so this time this brewery was busy to brew a Saison and a Bière de Miel. And in 1920, that brewery were bought by the Dupont family. Louis Dupont was the uncle of my grandfather, and Louis Dupont wanted to go to Canada to have a farm in Canada and to start his job in Canada. And in order to keep him in Tourpes, his father bought him the Rimo de Ridder farm brewery, and Louis Dupont stayed in Belgium. And Louis Dupont had no children, but the farm brewery went to his nephew, Sylvain Rosier, my grandfather, 1759 for this part and this part. There we had the farm activity at the end of the core. This building on the right side, we have three different levels. First level is for the cellar, so it's 1 meter below this level. Then we have the brewing room, and upstairs we have we had before the storage of barley. We had also a malting plant on this level, so it's quite strange. Huh? You have minus 1 meter for the cellar. Just after we have the malting floor, and upstairs the barley storage. And on this side we are a little bit higher with the brewing room on 2 levels and the malt storage. We stopped in 1988, but we kept the room just for storage of raw materials.
Right,
but no more malting, unfortunately.
Yes.
If we thought 30 years ago that we could develop the activity, I think we needed to keep this malting plant because it was a floor malting, so quite interesting. But that's the history, and so now it's too late. It's maybe a pity that we didn't. So this is the old Mash Tun. So they started to work with this in 1844, and we were still working with this one in 2008. So 13 years ago, we were still working, doing the filtration of the wort in this old Mash Tun. But it was really too old, and so we decided to stop to work this. And now we have quite a special brewing room. You can go inside after. You can see we work with a combination of old copper kettles and new stainless steel vessels, but both vessels work together. So the first step is the mashing of the wort into this vessel. Then we have the filtration of the wort, and we boil in these 2 vessels. And you can see here, these 2 vessels are heated with a gas burner, direct heating. And it's why we kept these vessels in activity, because it's really typical. So we do 3 brews per day. The 2 first brews are boiled with this technique of direct gas burner, and the third one is boiled with steam in this vessel. So it was really important for us to keep this tradition in activity. It's interesting to see the shape of the vessels, because generally you see really nice boiling vessels with a nice top, and here we have something really flat. I named this a farm vessel, really basic, simple, but quite interesting. After the first war, we needed to have new ones. We just finished the boiling of the first one. We are emptying the boiling vessel to go to fermentation. That was for the first brew. The second one of the day, we are just finishing the filtration, and we are waiting some time in this vessel, and in half an hour we'll transfer this content into this one for the second boiling of the day. They can do the same thing, but for the moment today this one is used as a buffer, just waiting before to go to the boiling. But
that's your main one.
Yeah, it's the bigger one. But when we bought this to replace the vessel we have outside, we decided to keep these old vessels to maintain the boiling in these vessels. And as you have a gas burner beneath the vessel, you have some caramelization of the sugar, and so the wort receives some specific body coming from this specific heating. It's something, in order to have a good heating of the bottom. A small, little burning in the bottom of the vessel, and also with this specific heating, you have one point of the bottom of the vessel which is heated to 120 degrees Celsius, and so you have a red point, a red part on one point of the vessel, and from this point you have some specific convection movements in the vessel, and that gives also some specific body to. It's in order to have a good temperature diffusion in the vessel, it's quite important, specifically with this direct gas burner. You can see the welding with the new one and the old one. 30 centimeters below the dark part, you have a welding, and so all the bottom is new, and the upper part is the old one. So it's always possible to keep a tradition in activity. We mash in this one. So before this step, we mash, we filter, and we boil in this one. Okay? Filtration of the wort. We filter the wort. It's a tank for hot water. Okay?
I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Olivier, and I hope you did too. You might consider watching our other Saison Dupont videos by clicking this button, click the like button. Cheers!